What's up, YouTube? Thanks for coming back to see just what I do today. This is part 2 of the first part you saw last week of if I can fix the truck. Now it's what is wrong with the truck, and hopefully it's it. As you can see, I have it moved. We pulled it back and then I pushed it into the up here. I have it up on some lifts so I can get underneath it without bashing my head and work a bit. Now, in the last video, you saw us running through every possibility that it might be. We checked everything you can think of. Because it has to have spark, fuel, air, suck, blow, fart for an engine to work, essentially. We checked the fuel pump. Fuel pump works just fine. We checked pressure. We checked spark plugs. We checked spark plug wires. We checked all kinds of stuff. Anything you can think of, we checked. And thanks to Bob. Bob's the one that mostly did the work. I mostly stood around and tried to learn something. But Bob checked everything he could think of. He was kind enough to come over with all his tools, because normally I would have called Granddad, but my granddad isn't around anymore. He passed away last year due to complications of Alzheimer's and old age. But anyways, we came to the conclusion that it is one of two things. It is the camshaft position pulley. No, camshaft position sensor. I have to remove a pulley to get to the sensor. And or the crankshaft position sensor. Now they're both the same age. They're 21 years old. Now, nobody will tell me much on where it is. It's extremely vague. So I think I know where they're at and how to get to them. It's just going to take some finagling and work, of course. So the first one I'm trying to get to is the camshaft position sensor. Now, as you can see, I do have the battery removed. It was right there. Excuse me. Now I have to remove that battery seat plate. And then it should be like right in here. Somewhere. But I gotta remove that to be able to get to it. Let me remove this and then we'll see if we can see it. Hopefully. Okay, I have the bottom of where the battery sits out now. Now, if you can see, and all of my phones have to go off. See if I can zoom in so you can see where it's at. Potentially. Down there. Where that shiny goo is. That is it. I have to figure out how to get to that. Clean that off so I can see where the little screw is, because the little screw is holding it in place. And pull it out. Yeah. Lovely. And I'll disconnect the electrical. Sorry. Bring it back. That's right there. There it is. Sorry. Yeah. Disconnect the electrical. So I'm going to do that. Clean it off. Figure out how to get to it. Pull it out. I'll show you what it looks like when I get it pulled out. See that part right there? That's what I'm trying to get to. Still, that's the camshaft one. Right there. Whoops. Right there. And it's a very narrow window to try and get through. That right there is what I'm trying to get to. And it is extremely filthy. Still trying to get to it. I will show you it whenever I get it out. The crankshaft sensor, you can see part of it right there. But to get to it, you have to remove the pulley, then remove the faceplate, and then you can get to it. But to do that, I had to drop the alternator to release the belt. Now the biggest trouble is trying to get the dang pulley off. Once we get all that done, hopefully I can get to the other sensor, and this project will be almost finished. I'll show you once we get the pulley taken off. Well, as you can see, another day of her not running. Yesterday I couldn't get the pulley off to get to the crankshaft sensor. I can barely fit my hand in to get to the camshaft sensor, so I'm going to try from the bottom when I get the pulley off. But we did accomplish something today. As you can see, right there, we finally got the bolt off. Now I didn't film it because I wasn't sure it's going to work. We tried with the impact wrench that goes to the air compressor. We tried with the breaker bar. We couldn't get the dang thing to budge at all. So I did what's called the bump start method, which is where you figure out which way your engine turns. You put the breaker bar, cheater bar, whatever you want to call it, and the 19mm socket on it, and you wedge it against the frame. We did the rocker arm there, wedged it against that, and you turn the key. Now you want to just do it once because you don't need it flying around and hitting things. But you turn the key just real quick for the engine to start, and you use the engine to loosen the bolt. So that's what we did. That's how we got that bolt off. So that's an accomplishment for today. Got that dang bolt off of the pulley. So now I need to go to O'Reilly's and get a pulley puller to pull the pulley. Yeah, you can borrow one at O'Reilly's. I am never going to AutoZone again. So I'm going to O'Reilly's and get a pulley puller. But unfortunately, as you can see, it is not a lovely day. It's cold out here now. We're supposed to be getting snow. So I may end up doing this, having to wait another day or two and doing it Friday. So it's just one more day of her just sitting here not running. So, that's the accomplishment for today. I'll keep you updated. Hopefully we can get her started. Hopefully this is the problem. So the next thing is to pull the pulley. Behind it is the crankshaft sensor after I move the cover. And then up above is the camshaft sensor. Hopefully I can remove those maybe Friday. Hopefully. But cross your fingers that this is the problem and it's not a computer board. So the next one, you'll see me pulling the pulley with a pulley puller. Okay. just because I don't have a truck, it has to snow. And snow a lot. Snow piled on her. There was at least 2 feet of snow last night. Of course, just as I don't have a truck to get anywhere. So now, let's go see if we can pull this pulley with the pulley puller so I can return it and get my deposit back. Be one step closer to getting this project done. Okay, I've got the stupid pulley puller on, as you can see. All it is these bolts go into the holes that are already on the pulley. This thing sits in the middle, and as you crank on this with a wrench and a 9mm socket, it slowly pulls the pulley off. Hopefully. So, I'm going to get my 9mm out, pull this off. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. I'm seriously tired of this wet, cold crap. Okay, let's pull the pulley. As you can see, I finally got that darn thing off. It's taken me like 2 days. But, looking at it, I'm going to have to replace a belt too. As you see, it's all cracked and worn. While I got it apart, I might as well. So, the original project was to get to the crankshaft sensor. As you can see, part of it right here. I have to remove this housing, then I should be able to get to it. Keyword there. No project goes easy on this truck. But, I got the pulley off. That's an accomplishment for the day. And this horrible, icky white crap. Hate it. But here is the pulley. See, I got the pulley puller still attached to it, but I got the dang thing off. So I'm going to repack the pulley puller, take it back, and get my renter's money back. And then, when it warms up and some of this white ick disappears, we'll take that off, at least get the crankshaft sensor out, and then replace the belt, and then figure out how the heck to get to the camshaft sensor, preferably on a warmer day. So, here we go with that. Finally, I got those stupid sensors out. Now this one here, this one is my crankshaft sensor, position sensor. This one was the hardest one of all. I had to become a contortionist just to get it out. This one is my camshaft sensor. Camshaft sensor is what helps make it start. Crankshaft is what helps keep everything in time for proper firing and acceleration. Sort of. You can look it up yourself. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't care. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's alright. And then this is the belt I had to replace. As you can see, it's super cracked and worn. So while I had it apart, I thought might as well replace it. And it's called, well, they're all called serpentine belts, but this one is a harmonic balancer and power steering belt. Yeah, go figure. So, finally got those out. These will be here Friday. So, I can do those on Friday. Get those all back in on Friday. Hopefully, either Friday or Saturday they're supposed to be in. Hopefully, she turns over. I'm really hoping that this was it. They are 21 years old. Yeah, so they've never been done before. They're supposed to last a lifetime, but wear and tear, weather, other elements, you never know. Things don't last like they're supposed to anymore. But in the meantime, I have some other stuff to do first. Let me grab the parts and we'll go out and we'll talk about it. Okay, we're over here by the truck now. This is the new belt. See the difference? If I can get it to sit still. Sorry, hold on. See the difference? It's not all cracked and worn. Now that goes, I think I showed you once before, that goes way up in there. It goes on that pulley and down to back behind the serpentine belt, the alternator belt on the crankshaft, because that's the crankshaft harmonic balancer right there. I had to remove the cover and the pulley to get to the sensor, which plugs in right about there. So I'm gonna wait to put that on when I get the sensors, but in the meantime I've got this. I know what you're thinking, some of you. What the heck is that? That is an oil pan gasket. Now what is an oil pan gasket? Now where you normally drop your oil from, things will focus, right here. It goes all along right there. It's bigger than you think, bigger than it looks. Well, that's your oil pan. And while mine has some broken bolts in it or some missing bolts in it, so the seal isn't as good as it should be. It happens. Not quite sure how, but it happens. So what I'm going to do is pop the oil plug out, let that drain. I want it to drain completely for a couple days. Luckily, it's at a tilt right now, and the plug is on the back side, so it should drain pretty well, pretty much as much as possible out. And then I'm going to undo all the bolts on it, and then I'm going to get some easy out to do the bolts that are stuck, that are broken. And then drop the whole pan, preferably without making a horrible nasty mess everywhere, hopefully. And scrape off the old gasket, put on the new gasket. My dad's going to get me some new bolts for the ones that are missing. And then hopefully this will take care of some of my oil leak. Because as you see right there, that's a leak. Isn't exactly a good thing. Makes a mess everywhere. Makes everything gooey. So, that is the plan for now while I wait for my sensors to come in. I'm going to pop that plug, let it drain, let it sit for probably about a day or two just to make sure it drains as much as possible. And then take out the bolts. Now when I get the oil pan down, I'll show you then. Because it's a gooey process and I don't want oil all over my camcorder. I already have it on my tripod. I'm going to have to get some stuff to clean that off. And that's why I didn't film taking out the sensors, because it was a hectic process. I showed as much as possible, but by the time I was done, my hands were black. And I didn't want to touch my camcorder with that. So, and this isn't quite a how-to video, this is just a just what I do video. I just showed as much as I could without getting my camera gooey. So, enough rambling. I'm going to pop the plug off the oil pan, let that drain, and then I will show you what everything looks like when I drop the oil pan. So, see you in probably a couple days. Yeah. Okay, as you can see, I've got it draining. I got it all draining into an old Sunny D bottle, so that way I don't have to figure out what am I going to put it in later. And then you can take it to the auto store places, and they take care of it for you. That's the drain plug right there. So, I'm going to leave this like this for like a day or two. And then we'll drop the oil pan, put a new gasket on it, and I'll show you that when that's done. Okay, slight change of plans. I was out here with my dad and we were discussing it, and we have come to the conclusion that I don't think I need to change out the oil pan gasket. For now, I'm just going to drill out the bolts that are broken. I'm going to start with a small drill bit, and then go bigger if I need to. And I've got some new bolts my dad got me to put into it. Put in the spots that are missing the bolts that I'm going to drill out. There's only like 4 or 5. There's not that many, but it's a freaking process. And in the meantime, to help with the leaks, in case I have a valve leak or something like that, or if the gasket pan is leaking, or leaks in general, because this is what I'm going to use for now to see if I can get it to stop. As you can read, it's called Engine Oil Stop Leak. This is not a paid sponsor, this is just what I'm using. Now, this goes in your oil reservoir, and you add like 4 quarts to it, which is pretty much what the truck takes. It helps with engine leaks, seal leaks, block leaks. It doesn't have any harmful stuff in it. You know, in the morning when you have that white puff of smoke coming out your tailpipe, that usually means that you have a valve leak starting. So that's inevitable with older high mileage engines. So I'm going to use this to help combat that, and it's supposed to lessen engine noise. You have higher oil pressure, less oil consumption. It fills the spaces between worn parts. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to try instead. I really hope it works well. So, let me crawl under there. I'll show you what I'm talking about with the broken bolts. And we'll start that. This is Friday. My sensors were supposed to come in today. And of course, as usual, they won't be in until tomorrow. So in the meantime, I'm going to do this stuff. I'm going to drill out my bolts, put in new ones, put in the new oil, put in the new engine oil stop leak, the new filter, and then I'm going to clean out where the sensors go, so that's all ready for when I pick up the sensors tomorrow. All I got to do is put them in, and I really hope she turns over tomorrow. So, in the meantime, let me crawl under there, and I'll show you what I'm talking about with the broken bolts. Alright, apparently I only have to drill out 2. I thought there was more than that, but what the heck do I know? So these are the 2 that I have to drill out. If crap would stop falling on my face. Thought there was more, but luckily there's not. I suppose I should be thankful there's not more. Because you can see there's a bolt here, and a bolt there. So I have to drill those out. But first I'm going to... Oh, where'd it go? Hit them with that in the center, with a hammer right there. Make a center punch so the drill bit doesn't travel. So I'm going to do that, drill those out, put the new bolts in, and we'll move on from there. Okay, I got those drilled out and new bolts in, as you can tell, because they're shiny now compared to the others. So now all I have to do is go up top, drop the filter, and put a new filter in, and fill her up with oil, and then I'm going to wipe down the sensor areas, and hopefully my sensors come in tomorrow, and we can finish this and she turns over. So I'll probably see you tomorrow when I get the filters. Wait another day. Okay, we finally got the darn parts in. So now it's time to do everything in reverse that I did before. I'm not going to show that. This isn't a how-to video, this is a just what I do video. So I'll be back with you when I go to turn her over, to see if she starts. Hopefully she'll start. Okay, as you can see, it's dark now. Extremely freaking frustrated. Got everything put back together, and she still won't frickin' start. So unfortunately, there's going to be a part 3 to this video. So now I have to go talk to Bob and see what he thinks it might be. I replaced the crankshaft piston, son of a bitch, the crankshaft position sensor, and the camshaft position sensor, and she still won't start. Put a new belt on, did all this other happy ass crap, and she still won't frickin' start. Now she is getting a weak spark, which might mean coil packs, which are down there at the end, yeah, right there. There's 2 of them. I replaced them once already, but who knows, they might have gone bad. So I'm going to go talk to Bob, see what he thinks, and we'll see you next week for part 3 if I can fix this darn thing. Thanks for watching.